for the chair. First, regarding the foreign assisted projects under program appropriations for next year, the portion of the loan proceeds under some of the foreign assisted projects of the DOTR was decreased under the GAB, specifically for the Metro Manila Subway and the North-South Commuter Rail. We proposed in the subcommittee to restore, but unfortunately the GAB was adopted. By endorsing the restoration of the loan proceeds to the original amount under the NEP, we recognized the disadvantages of placing foreign assisted projects, or the FAPs, under the unprogrammed appropriations. Historically, releases under the unprogrammed appropriations occur only by the third quarter of the year. So nangyayari po, from the first to third quarter, there will be billings, progress billings for the first 6 months that would accumulate and that will not be paid. The delays may compel contractors to suspend project activities, which in turn lead to prolongation, costs, and further setbacks in the project implementation. Ultimately, this scenario results in additional financial burdens for the government. Anyway, I was hoping that we will no longer experience delays in the implementation of these projects because this may affect our credit and financial standing. In fact, Mr. President, during 2024-2025, when the foreign assisted projects were lodged under unprogrammed funds, it really caused delays, and I think this has been the concern that was raised. I think this can be confirmed by the economic team. It was raised by JICA to the President, noting that the project delays are largely attributed to the late release of funds under unprogrammed appropriations. Anyway, my question is, under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program, the NSCR and Metro Manila Subway were under that program appropriations. But I don't know if this was recommended by the DBM or the Department of Finance. Why is it that it was lodged? Why lodge a portion of it now in the unprogrammed funds?
Thank you for that question, Senator JV, and thank you also for making sure that we have enough funds for transportation infrastructure projects. You have been very vigilant and active in the debates and discussion of the DOTR budget, especially transportation projects of the government. And we do acknowledge that you have proposed to restore the budget of the NSCR, the North-South Commuter Railway System, as well as the Metro Manila subway projects. When we looked at the utilization rates of these two projects, the NSCR has a disbursement rate of only 41%, and the Metro Manila subway project has a disbursement rate of 36%. So when we were evaluating the two projects, the conclusion here is, since there is already 48 billion for NSCR in the GAB and 34 billion for the Metro Manila subway projects in the GAB, these amounts will be enough to cover all of their requirements come 2026 because the utilization rate is not up to speed. Nevertheless, I think this is also one of the items that the administration, particularly the economic managers, will focus on to improve the usage and the utilization rates of the two projects. So that's why, because when on the other side of the coin, if you do increase the amounts for the two projects, masasayang lang po yung pera because their utilization rate is below 50%. So we would rather allocate the funds to other transportation projects so that those projects will be realized.
Well, thank you for that. that answer. Anyway, because the DOTR said that by now the North-South Commuter Line and Metro Manila Subway has gone full blast, no? Comparing it 2 years ago, and they promised to have better utilization this time. But we just want to get the commitment and assurance of the DBM that even if a portion of it is now lodged in the program appropriations, its release will be given priority to ensure that the timely implementation of these critical infrastructure projects.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm truly honored na yung bagong DBM OIC kino-coach po ako, no?
But he's in the fire, Mr. President.
Nagulat rin ho siya na pala yung OIC, Mr. President. No? So, it's truly an honor. Yusek Toledo, na-promote ka lang in last 10 minutes. No? So, Mr. President, the timing of the disbursement for the Metro Manila Subway is in Q1, Q1 and Q2, as well as the North-South Commuter Railways, Q1 and Q1 and Q2. The good thing about our setup in the unprogrammed appropriations, Mr. President, is we limited it to only 3 items: foreign assisted, GOP counterpart, and the military. So in other words, wala na siyang kaaway na pondo, Mr. President. Wala na siyang kaaway na sa gift fund or the other funds. Kaagad, pag may lumabas na new or additional appropriations, it will go straight to the foreign assisted projects.
Well, that's good to hear, Mr. President. In fact, last week, the Japanese ambassador came to see me and inquire about this issue, about the FAPS that, and we said that we will do our best to make sure that it will be now lodged under the program appropriation, so that what happened the past 2 years when it was lodged in that program funds really had that, I would say, had a bad effect, no? For the JICA and the Japanese embassy to go to the president and complain about this. So
I agree, Mr. President. Mr. President, when the NEP was submitted, a portion of the GOP counterpart was already in the unprogrammed appropriations, Mr. President, to a tune of about 38 billion, Mr. President. So it was already lodged under the unprogrammed appropriations. So it was a significant amount. So it's very difficult for us to move it to the program. What we made sure is the timing of the release. I think that's the most important. So ngayon nawala na siyang kaaway sa pondo, it will be assured that the release will be on a timely manner, and the requirement to come up with a GOP counterpart will be there, Mr. President, as opposed to becoming uncertain, Mr. President. Well,
that's good to hear. Thank you, Your Honor, Mr. President. No? Because right now, probably we are facing one of the darkest hours in our government's history because of this biggest scandal that we are facing right now. Ang problema natin in the international community, there's no good news right now. And I'm hoping that through this, to the infrastructure projects, to these big ticket items, that there is a glimmer of hope for foreign direct investments to look forward to, na hindi pa ni bad news. So I think this is where we can at least show that the country, while there's an ongoing scandal investigation, but we are moving forward. And this is very important. That's why I would like to get the assurance of the economic team, the DBM, Department of Finance, that this will be indeed be prioritized, so that, this is already JICA and Japan and our creditors, so that this will not affect also our credit and financial standings in the international community. So at least meron namang glimmer of hope that we are indeed doing something so that foreign investments could still look to invest or consider the country. Kahit na meron tayong kinakaharap na problema, by prioritizing all of this, at least meron tayong hope, no, that we are doing something to improve and stimulate economic growth in the future.
Mr. President, again, I thank the good gentleman for really scrutinizing and pushing for transportation projects here in our country. We badly need those transportation projects, and with this setup in the unprogrammed funds, Mr. President, we're very confident that the GOP counterparts related to those projects will be realized, Mr. President.
And I'm confident because there's no more, Mr. Ko, with the appropriations na nilagay sa program lahat to.
Correct,
Before,
Mr. President. Oh.
Nilagay yung kanilang projects sa priority program, while the priority projects, the foreign assisted projects were dodged under the program appropriations. And I'm glad that with the Senator Gatchalian, with yours heading now the Finance Committee, I'm sure that they will not allow this to happen, so that we will be able to improve our credit and financial standing, especially when it comes to ADB, our JICA, and our of course the Japanese government, who have been very supportive of our infrastructure projects.
Thank you, Mr. President, and rest assured that we will make sure that these projects will not encounter delay this coming new year, Mr. President.
Last point, Mr. President, with regards to the bago lang din yung BIR natin, newly appointed 2-3 days ago. Is he here? The new BIR? He's here. Okay, anyway, I'm sure it's not yet there, but I'm hoping that you will take note of this, because the BIR has intensified its campaign to strengthen tax monitoring and collection. While we recognize the support these heightened efforts, concerns have been raised regarding the excessive issuance of letters of authority or LOAs. It was brought to our attention, particularly in the discussion with the European Union Ambassador, the chambers of American and European chambers of commerce, even our colleagues, senators really that had the chance to talk to them, and that they complained that the excessive use of LOAs by the BIR has raised serious concerns among foreign investors. Such practice, if not carefully regulated, may create an atmosphere of uncertainty among businesses and discourage foreign investors who may perceive it as a sign of unpredictability or overreach in tax administration. It is therefore important to strike a balance between ensuring compliance and maintaining a stable and investor-friendly business climate. The challenges and uncertainties in the regulatory and tax environment act as a deterrent to potential foreign investors, contributing to the Philippines' lower ranking in the FDI restrictiveness indices compared to other ASEAN countries. My question is, what initiatives are being pursued by the DOF or BIR to ease investor apprehension regarding the perceived overissuance of LOAs, which has been linked to a decline in investor confidence?
Thank you, Mr. President. In fact, I raised the same issue during the organizational meeting of the Committee on Ways and Means, because I remember among us senators, this issue came out during our conversation that the LOAs are weaponized. No? Sabi nga ni Senator JB na weaponized siya. And more often than not, the taxpayer would settle for a lower amount but given to parang under the table yung pagbibigay. Pero ito kasi mga foreign investors to, these are foreigners and they won't dare to undervalue their tax declaration. So in that hearing, Mr. President, Senator JV, part of the reason also why a lot of these LOAs are happening is because the submission of documents are not complete or not accurate, or some of the documents are not in line with the requirements of the BIR. So we suggested to the BIR to also come up with information campaigns to the foreign company